Hey guys, how y'all doing today? My name is Just Fanatic. That was weird. And welcome back to the channel. If you guys is another Lego video game video, I guess. Today we're gonna be tackling Lego DC supervillains, and I got a request to do this video on Twitter by one of my followers, Xavier or Just Xavier. So shout out to you if you're watching this. Hope you enjoy the video. I never really thought to do this in this kind of way, but hey, you tweet me and you're like, hey franchise, I want you to review every DCEU film from worst to best while playing Lego DC supervillains. So I said, hey, what the heck, why not? Took me a bit, and I was kind of thinking, how should I do this? However, and I got the cops on me. That's great. What I'm going to be doing is, of course, reviewing every DCEU film except Wonder Woman 84, Wonder Woman 1984, Wonder Woman 2. I will not be reviewing that because I haven't seen it. I haven't been to the theater, or I don't have HBO, any of that stuff. So I have not seen that movie. Do not spoil it in the comments if you have seen Wonder Woman 84. I am going to see it eventually. I'm probably going to get it on Blu-ray. But again, please just, don't spoil it. So the first movie we're going to and again, I do want to make this also clear. This is just my opinion, and I don't hate any of these movies. I really like them all. Like I say, all Star Wars is good. Boom! I really do like them all. So we're going to start out with my least favorite. Of course, there has to be a least favorite. And that is going to be Justice League. There's Chase McCain right there. So, as you can see, I'm playing as Ben Affleck Batman. And, of course, the guy that plays Deathstroke in the DCEU. So, the reason why this is last place is not because I hate it. In fact, I actually kind of enjoy watching it. I don't think that Joss Whedon slash Zack Snyder, I don't think this movie's that bad. I really don't. The reason why it's last place, though, is basically because of the CGI, the fact that you can tell that this movie was very kind of sloppily put together. Zack Snyder was making it, and then I think his daughter commits suicide, which of course is terrible, and is a valid reason for him to step down. And of course, Joss Whedon finished directing it and finished kind of reshooting things and all that, which is, of course, was the big reason why no one really liked this movie. We have, of course, Superman, who has a mustache because he was filming Mission Impossible Fallout, and they were like, you can't shave your mustache! So he was like, well, what are we going to do? So they're like, oh, we'll just, CGI the frickin' thing. And it looks like trash. It looks like Clark Kent has Novocaine. It looks like he's, crack is whack. He's just like high as fudge, basically. He looks really weird. Some shots are good, but most of the shots with Superman in Justice League, or some people call Justice League, are very bad, and I don't really like him. Here he is right here. Let's see, how do you... Whoop, boink! There he is. Of course, he's gonna not have the fake mustache there, but, so yeah. This is DCEU Clark, or Superman. But again, like I said, really, the worst thing about Justice League is the CGI. I think that the acting is great, the action scenes are great, the writing's alright. I think having that decision to follow, like, that Saldavian family or whatever, and, like, the shed, that was kind of weird. I get, maybe they wanted to just kind of show, like, civilian, like, I don't know. You know how, like, The Last Jedi, Rose Tico is, like, the civilian character, and it's a great character, because it works? They just kind of, oh, we'll just have a random family, and, the parademons attack them. It is what it is. It's not a bad movie by any means. It really is not a bad film. However, why are there cats here? I do think that it is probably the worst DCEU film, only, again, because it looks rushed. You know what I mean? It really does. There's so many scenes where you're like, oh, that's a CGI background, or that's CGI, or Superman's face. Everything's CGI, you know what I mean? Because they had to freaking reshoot all this stuff. So anyway, I don't think Justice League is bad. I don't. I think it's a good movie, and I like watching it. And I cannot wait for the Snyder Cut. However, again, a movie did have to be last place. So, the next movie we're going to be tackling is, let me try to find it here. We're going to be playing the right character. We're going to be doing Harley... We're going to be doing Harley Quinn. We're going to be playing as Harley Quinn because we are doing Birds of Prey and the... wait a minute, let me get this right here. Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. That is the longest effing title in the world. But shaboom! I don't think this is that bad of a movie either. Just compared to the other ones, there is a bit of a problem. Of course, most of the casual DC fans don't know who the fudge Birds of Prey are, but they know who Harley Quinn is. So that's how they get you. But basically, this movie had to be renamed for box up, yada yada, the whole boom thing. It was a mess. I watched it in the cinemas and I thought it was good. I think this is the first canon DCEU film that is rated R, and I'll get back to that in a minute. But because this movie is rated R, you have a few things to factor in. You have Suicide Squad. Harley Quinn was in that movie, in a PG-13 movie. Now, remember, PG-13 does not mean it's appropriate for a kid, even though some people think that. I don't know why. But PG-13 really is not for children. It's for teenagers, and when you're dealing with movie ratings, those are different things. But basically, yeah, Suicide Squad's not for little kids, but it's for older teenagers, basically. So, Birds of Prey is for 17 adult, basically. And that kind of doesn't work, because Harley Quinn's saying the F word every 5 seconds, and you're like, wait a minute, it's funny, I guess, but why is she doing that, because you're like, okay, I'm going to go play, or I'm going to go watch Suicide Squad, and it doesn't work to have her be in a PG-13 movie with, this other R-rated movie. I don't know, it doesn't work. Other than that, though, I do think that the CGI is pretty good for what level they have it. This is kind of it's kind of like the DC version of Deadpool. They kind of went, okay, we're going to do this for a smaller budget, and we're just going to see how this goes. And, like I said, it is R-rated. There is, R-rated things in it. I do think that the F-words, well, I'm not some kind of old grandma going, F-words are bad and evil, I mean, yeah, it's a swear word, but at the end of the day, it's just a word. And it doesn't bother me. But having Harley and all these characters, when you establish a world and it's R-rated, but then every other movie's PG-13, it doesn't make sense, you know what I mean? Because, like, why isn't anyone saying the F-word? Why isn't Harley Quinn naked in another one? Or, you know what I mean? Any of that R-rated stuff, how come it's not in there? And it just doesn't work in that regard. On its own, it's a really good and fun movie. I think having like I said, the action scenes are really good, really chaotic. The editing's really nice, I think. The dialogue, CGI, acting, all that stuff's pretty good. It's not the best story in the world, but, it is what it is. Not too bad. My only real complaint, Ewan McGregor as Black Mask is really cool. I don't think Black Mask is even in this game. Having him be a certain way, I wouldn't have gone that route, and that kind of irritates me only because he's not that way in the comics. But other than that, if you really just want like a fresh take on a movie that really isn't too connected from the comics, I could see you enjoying it. But for me, I don't really like when they change comics too much, but still, I think it's a fun, entertaining movie. It doesn't really fit with the DCEU vibe, but, it is what it is. It's fun. It's kind of a, like I said, it's like DC Deadpool. I think it works, and, it's kind of a sleeper hit, I guess, among the DC fans. It's not bad. There's a few things wrong with it, but, it's kind of average, I wouldn't watch, like, if you were like, hey, franchise, watch any DCEU film, I wouldn't choose Birds of Prey. Even though I don't hate it, it just wouldn't be my first go. So the second is going to be, probably a little controversial, but we're gonna go right to it. Here we go.
Oh boy, hero time.
Yeah, Shazam. A lot of people love Shazam. I like Shazam. I don't think it's the worst DCU film. Obviously, it's the third worst. Well, my opinion. But it's not my favorite. I do think that this is a funny movie. I think it captures the spirit of the character of Billy Batson Shazam really well. I think they do a good job with that. However, the CGI really is kind of bad. It's almost as bad as Justice League. There's a lot of shots where they just kind of, like the 7 deadly sins are just kind of there. Like, they're not really doing anything. Like there's one guy in the foreground, but in the way background, he's just kind of like standing there, just kind of like moping around. So I get it. CGI can't be perfect. You got freaking budgets and time restraints and all that crap. But you do want to make your movie look good. You don't want to, I think the director was being interviewed, and he's like, well, we kind of forgot about it. And I'm like, okay, well, first of all, don't effing admit that when you're being interviewed, because you're just saying your movie's shit, you know what I mean? It's like, that's not good. Second, don't, just don't say those things, you know what I mean? Because I knew it, I picked up, I'm like, oh, that one deadly sin in the background, he's just kind of standing there. But then the director's like, yeah, there's a scene where Shazam's flying in a mall, and the crew was in the shot, so we just had to paint out the camera equipment and put in like shopping bags. I'm like, dude, why are you admitting that? You know what I mean? I get it, it's kind of funny, but you're just admitting that your movie is really bad. You know what I mean? On the surface, it's funny. There's pretty cool action scenes, but when you dig deep enough, the movie has pretty bad CGI at times, and it's just lacking. You know what I mean? I get it, CGI is CGI, but at the end of the day, most comic book movies have really good CGI, because that's just the thing. It's their budget. The budgets for DC and Marvel movies is high, and when your director's just saying, yeah, it's garbage, it's like, yeah, you probably don't want to say that. I do think that they kind of went a little bit more of a jokey side, and I get it, because Shazam, Billy Batson, is kind of a jokey character. But, you know, it's like Birds of Prey. You know, Birds of Prey are in a in a PG-13 film universe. It's just kind of strange when you're kind of making like a really, really jokey. It's like Thor Ragnarok. You know, why is Thor funny all of a sudden? Who knows? That's why I don't like that movie too much. It's just random, you know. Shazam, the character, is funny, so that's what I'm fine with. But it's the fact that they kind of go for these really funny scenes, and it's more of a family comedy than it is a superhero action film. And maybe that's what he aimed for, but that's not, I don't know. You know what I mean? That probably is what he was aiming for. But at the same time, it's just, I don't know, it doesn't fit with me. Besides, you know, lacking CGI and all that, I do think that it's a pretty good story. There's some pretty funny moments in there, some pretty good action scenes. However, it is lacking in the DC category. This really, like I said, it feels like a family comedy just with a guy with a cape. You know what I mean? And maybe that's what he wanted, but to me, that's not what a DC film is. I don't hate it. In fact, I like it, and I just rewatched it a few months ago. I did all these movies. I watched them all, and it's a good movie. You know, I love watching it. It's just I have to put it somewhere on the list. Let's see. The next, another. Yeah, shut up. Another controversial pick. Let me see here. Let me gotta find the character first. Why are there so effing many characters? It starts with a W. Why can I not find it? W. I'm a freaking war. There we go. I know my alphabet.
The hopes of the world are depending on me. I cannot fail.
We have Wonder Woman. Now when I first saw Wonder Woman, I hated it. I really hated it. I didn't. Okay, well I'm not gonna say I don't hate any movie really that I own, but I didn't like it that much because I'm like Wonder Woman. It's got good action. It's got great action. It's filmed really well. Patty Jenkins did a great job. I think that's her name, and I believe she's gonna be doing a new Star Wars movie too, which is kind of cool. She also filmed the Wonder Woman 1984. But my biggest issue with Wonder Woman 1 was that, yeah, it's good CGI. Yeah, it's a good plot. Yeah, it's good acting. Yeah, it's good action. Yeah, it's good writing. Blah, blah, blah. Good plot. Wonder Woman did not act like Wonder Woman. You know, I think that was my biggest issue. I'm like, why is she so compassionate? Is it because she's a woman? I don't know. Because when you read the Wonder Woman comics, yeah, she's kind of compassionate, but she really is like almost like a barbarian Viking warrior, you know. She will kill you, you know. She's not like some kind of really, you know, PC grandma that has to, you know, take care of everyone. And, you know, she's just, in the movie, she's like, she sees ice cream and she's like, wow, what's this? You know, it's like that whole thing, that whole trope of, you know, Captain America when he's writing the list of, oh, you need to see Star Wars and you need to see this and you need to see that. It's kind of like that, you know. She goes to Earth and she's like, what's ice cream? What's a dog? You know, oh, that's funny. You know, she's carrying her sword around and a shield and everyone's looking at her like she's nuts. You know, it's kind of funny, but at the same time, it's not. She's kind of, Gal Gadot is a good actress. She's not great, but she's all right. And she plays Wonder Woman kind of dumb and kind of naive. And that's not necessarily that bad of a thing, but in this movie, Wonder Woman in the comics, again, would not act like that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, it's just weird. Now, I recently did rewatch it, and I like it a lot more. I think I gave it like an A or an A minus. When I originally saw it, I gave it like a C plus. And that just, you know, it ruined it for me, because I'm like, Wonder Woman does not do that, you know. She's not going to stop at every corner and see, you know, a woman who's poor and be like, oh my god, you poor thing, we need to find her a job, you know what I mean? She wouldn't do that. She might give a subtle one line, but she wouldn't devote her whole life to helping the dog or, you know, something weird. So that was my only issue. Upon rewatching Wonder Woman, I don't have that issue as much. I still think that she is a little bit out of character, but I do think that the movie is fun. But again, that really killed it for me, you know? Like, Luke in The Last Jedi is 100% in character. That's objective. This movie, me, of course, saying Wonder Woman is not in character, that is subjective, because she can be, you know, helpful and kind of dumb sometimes, I guess, but they just kind of went for like an overly comedic route with it, and it didn't work with me. But that's really it, you know. I do think Wonder Woman 1984, from the trailers I've seen, the trailers, again, my opinion, I think the trailers for 84 look trash. I think the movie looks really bad. Again, I don't trust anyone's own review except for my own, so I do need to see it. You know, I didn't see it. I'm gonna watch it, and then I'll probably update you with a video. But sorry about that. But I do need to kind of tell you that, again, 84, it didn't look that good. You know, I'm kind of watching, I'm like, oh, that looks like trash, you know. The music was really bad. It was really like, it was basically just women walking down a tight, like a cat rope thing with like fancy dresses on. It was really weird. But again, I don't want to say I don't like 84 because I didn't watch it yet. But Wonder Woman 1, now that I've rewatched it, it's a good action film, but it's not my favorite. Let me just say that. Next, we're rounded down here. We've got, I guess I'm just gonna have to do this.
Good news! Joker's back to brighten up all your miserable lives.
That's right, folks. We've got the Joker here. And we've also got, I guess I'll switch Clark Kent. Where the fudge he went? I can't switch to him. Where is he? Well, you could probably guess it right now. We're not talking about Joaquin Phoenix Joker, which is my favorite DC film, but that's not in the DCEU. My favorite, well, I guess other favorite would have to be, let me see, can I find someone else who isn't Harley Quinn? You probably know it by now. It's Suicide Squad. Now, I am not talking about the theatrical version of Suicide Squad. I'm talking about the extended cut of Suicide Squad. This is not the David Ayer cut. However, it is an extended version, just by a few minutes or so. I guess we'll just play Harley Quinn, why not? Whatever. Oh, hey there, Harles. You look really nice. I guess. No, you too. And that's my Mark Hamill voice, but it's not Jared Leto. But however, this movie got shat on, like, so much, and then they burned it, and they threw, hair on it, and then they burned it with oil. I mean, it was terrible. This movie is widely regarded as one of the worst movies ever made. I have no effing clue why that's even said. I freaking love Suicide Squad, man. The extended version is awesome. I think that David Ayer nailed the tone. He tried to make a villain's version of Guardians of the Galaxy, but for the DCEU, and it really freaking worked. Of course, The Suicide Squad, or Suicide Squad 2, is coming out this year, with Harley Quinn, Margot Robbie, and a few other. I don't think Jared Leto's in that one, but Jared Leto was really kind of panned as a terrible Joker. And the reason why, and I'm just going to be honest with you guys, the reason why everyone hates, and this is probably fact, the reason why everyone hates Jared Leto Joker isn't because he's a bad Joker. It's because he's in the movie for like 10 effing seconds. Now, the extended version, he's in it a bit longer. However, I will tell you that I really like Jared Leto Joker. And, you're probably going to dislike the video right frickin' now, but he's getting another shot. He's going to be Morbius in the new Marvel movie, but he is going to be Joker again in the Snyder Cut, which is really freaking cool. And I loved him, He was a great Joker. He really was a different Joker. I would go far as to say that Jared Leto Joker is probably the most comic-accurate version of Joker we've ever seen on film. If you're strictly comparing comic book page to a movie screen, he's the best interpretation. He's like a neon gangster, That's what he's doing. He's like punk trash ghetto Joker, That's basically it. He's got tattoos and grilled teeth and, all this stuff. And it works, He's funny, he's crazy, he's weird. I'll admit it, some of the things with Suicide Squad, some of the CGI could use a little bit of work. It's not bad. It's not as bad as Shazam or Justice League, but it's not perfect. However, you also get down to, maybe the writing could have been a little bit better. Who knows? Maybe. I'll drive the Joker mobile. But, like I said, this is the extended cut talking. This is a really fun movie to watch. I really like the soundtrack. I like the acting. I like the action scenes. I like the plot. I don't get it. I will never understand the hate for Suicide Squad, ever. I think it's one of the best DCEU films. I think he nailed the tone. Everything about it is pretty much great. I think that maybe, a lot of criticism was like, oh, they should have focused on Joker more instead of Enchantress and the whole, like, Roman deity god stuff. But I think it works, It really did help. I think Enchantress is a great villain, a great character in that film. Not just because she's hot, but because she's evil and she's crazy, and her motives are crazy. I do think it's a good plot. I'm crazy, whatever, but I do think it was a good movie. A few hinges here and there, especially with the dialogue and some of the editing at times, but I do think that this is... Oh, God. This is going to fall off the cliff. This is kind of a love letter to... Goodbye! A lot of the DC films. It's just tumbling down. Yeah! But I liked it, I'm excited for The Suicide Squad, and, I'm glad Jared Leto Joker was getting another shot. Again, he was widely panned, I don't think for a good reason, mainly because he wasn't in it that much. But really, the worst part about Suicide Squad was the trailers. The trailers made you think that Joker was the big bad guy, that he was going to be this big, omniscient presence, and just kind of, be like the big brother, micromanager kind of guy, and he wasn't. He was in it for a few minutes. Enchantress was really the big element, and I don't have a problem with that. But, marketing aside, I think Suicide Squad's a great movie. I can't wait for the sequel, and Jared Leto Joker was freaking awesome. Third favorite, we have, I already played as him, but I'm going to play as him again. we've got Man of Steel, the very first movie that kickstarted the DCEU. And this is, of course, the first movie directed by Zack Snyder, who did 300, I think, and he did Watchmen, another great DC film. But Man of Steel kickstarted it all, just kind of like Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, or New Hope, or Iron Man, that kind of thing. This was the big one to start the DCEU off, and I think it did it on a great note. I think that the CGI is great for the most part. I do think that the writing is good. I think the action scenes are really awesome. It shows, Superman is not, the older Supermans, the ones my dad grew up with and all that, the Reeves, freaking Christopher Reeve and all that, all those guys, the older ones, they were kind of, I get it, maybe you grew up with it, but to me, that's not Superman. That's just kind of a skinny dude in a leotard. That's what he is. He's an alright actor, but Henry Cavill, he is my definitive Superman. And of course, because DC sucks poop, we can't have him back anymore. Because Henry Cavill's like, I'm not getting paid enough for this shit. It's like, dude, come on. You're playing the fudging Superman. What are you gonna do? Work at Walmart? Work on The Witcher? Come on. But still, that kind of makes me mad. But Man of Steel, Henry Cavill, he is the best Superman. Brandon Routh was, I think, terrible. I think he got a shot again at the DC Legends of Tomorrow, the TV CW stuff. I don't watch that. I don't have any opinions on the CW stuff. But again, in my opinion, Henry Cavill is the best Superman. He is not just another Boy Scout. He's not Captain America. Rescuing cats from trees. He's not Mr. Incredible. This Superman will kill people if he has to. He doesn't like it, but he will. He's not a wussy of a character. How's it gonna feel like if you get punched in the head by Superman? You're gonna go frickin' flying through a building, and that's exactly what happened. I do think that maybe the argument, they should have taken the fight with General Zod out of the city, because really, Superman murdered like 1 million people to kill one guy. That's kind of weird. That's not necessarily out of character, because again, the movie I'm gonna talk about later that's one of the biggest plot points. But Man of Steel, like I said, great CGI, great acting, great fight scenes, really good fight scenes. Henry Cavill's a great actor. He did a great job portraying Superman. I think my only issue would maybe be General Zod. Michael Shannon is a good actor, but I don't know, just the way I always laugh the way he talks. He's like, I'm going to make your people suffer, Cal. You're going to suffer my insufferable sufferness. And I'm like, what? Whoa, what? That's not evil. It just sounds like a weird, high school kid with braces, I don't know, whatever. But I do think that he is a menacing villain, but I don't know, he doesn't sound like a villain. But that's really it, I really enjoyed Man of Steel. I think it's a great movie. It kicked off the DCEU in a great light, and I do think it's a bit underrated. I think that Man of Steel not only is my favorite, favorite actor for Superman, it's my favorite Superman movie. And I've seen all the old ones. I've seen Superman Returns. Man of Steel is the best. Not just because it's one of the newer ones, just because I think it has the best quality. And next we're going to go to, or rounding out 2 and 1 here. Now this was a toss-up. This is really freaking hard, because I love both of these movies so bloody much. It's so hard to pick. But my number 2 has to be...
My man, who wants a piece of me today?
Yeah, that was weird. Aquaman. This is a really fun movie. This is probably the most fun I've ever had at a DC film. I could watch Aquaman 1,000,000 times over. This movie is extremely entertaining. It's funny. It doesn't try to be funny. It actually is funny. Sometimes Suicide Squad can be, we're villains and we got to make jokes. This movie actually earns its comedic value. I think the acting's really good from Jason Momoa and everyone. Amber Turd, they're all really good in that. I think Volke, or what's his freaking name? He's in this, right? Volca. Volko, that's it. They're all... Who's playing a song? These guys kind of remind me like the Praetorian Guards from Last Jedi. The Mercs. Or Merc. Really cool. Again, this movie is extremely fun to watch. It has great CGI. This is probably one of the best looking comic book movies ever. I don't know, I don't think it got reviewed for like a best visual effects or anything. But man, this movie looks freaking good, man. When you're in the desert, when you're in Italy, this movie goes different places. It has a horror element. James Wan, of course, is a horror director, so that's why I think the Deeps, or the whatever it's called, the scene where it's like dark and raining, and they show blood, and it's insane. This movie has so many different tones. You know, it's funny, it's scary at times, it's sad, it's romantic, it's so many things, and it can easily get muddled up into a big big mess. But it doesn't. You know, it actually works. It's so much fun to watch. It looks great. It's really well written, really well paced. The villain's really awesome too. He was in Watchmen, and of course I think he was in Insidious or something like that. The fight scenes, though, this is one of the big reasons why. The fight scenes in this movie are I think, without a doubt, the best fight scenes, best choreography, best pacing, best everything, man, everything in any comic book movie. It is the best, in my opinion. The very first fight scene with Aquaman fighting on that big, boat or whatever, big ship, it's awesome, man. It really is. It's filmed a certain way, kind of like Kingsman 1 and 2, how it's kind of like shuddery and really like kinetic and in your face. It's so awesome. It really is. Like I said, everything about Aquaman, I love it. You know what I mean? It's really great. I can't wait for Aquaman 2. I don't know if Amber is going to be in it. It's with this whole thing. I know she kind of effed up Johnny Depp in that regard. But, whatever. I don't know. I love everything about it. What the fuck? Wow. Oh, I thought that was hair. Wait, did this game glitch? But no, I enjoyed Aquaman. Like I said, this was a tough one because I really love Aquaman, and I really love the next one. But again, this movie, like I said, I just can't say enough good about it. The writing, the action, the pacing, everything's so good about this movie, and I just can't get enough of it. I could watch it every day. It is just a phenomenal, I think, flawless film. It is DCEU. It's DC filmmaking at its finest, and I cannot wait to see Jason Momoa as Aquaman another time. Really, really great. Now, my favorite DCEU film by far, again, it was a bit tough because I love Aquaman so much, but I'm going to have to go with... Let me see here. Is he going to talk? No. Alright, well, I think you can tell where I'm going. It's the only one I didn't review yet. I'm going to be using this guy a lot. We're talking about Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. Now, I'm talking not the theatrical version. I'm talking the extended cut that I have on Blu-ray here that I'm looking at. It's 3 hours long, and it is extremely hard to decide between this and Aquaman, but I got to go with Batman v Superman. This is, I think, like, as much as I love Aquaman, Batman v Superman is just more times 10. I will never understand the hate for this movie. I think it is a flawless film. It's one of my favorite movies ever, I think. It's perfect. The character arcs between Batman, everyone, freaked out. Batman can't kill. Yeah, that's right. Batman doesn't kill. You know how, I'll bring this up really quick. Batman murders people because he's old, grizzled, blah, blah, blah. But the reason why he does it is because he doesn't have faith in anyone anymore. He thinks, he even tells Alfred, if I don't kill these guys, there's just going to be another dude who escapes jail, and he's going to do it all over again, Might as well just kill him. And Alfred's like, look, you're crazy, But that's the point. Bruce Wayne is not crazy, but he's out of his mind. He's not thinking straight. Same with Iron Man, The very first Iron Man movie, Tony Stark is creating bombs, and those bombs kill people that he knows. Is it good Tony Stark is making bombs? No. Is it good that they used those bombs and murdered some innocent people by accident, and his name's plastered all over the bomb? No. But he learns a lesson. Tony Stark learns his lesson. Ben Affleck Batman learns his lesson. When he chooses to not kill Superman, he's not just, your mommy's name is Martha. That's not, and I get it, it's a big joke. They reference it in the Teen Titans Go movie. It's funny. But the reason why, Batman doesn't murder Superman isn't because his mom has the same name as his mom. That's retarded. He does it because he has faith in humanity again. He knows that if I kill this guy, I will kill someone who had a family, someone who cared about him, My parents, Bruce Wayne's parents, were just murdered from him in cold blood on a street when he was like a little kid. And he doesn't want that to happen to any more people. So he chooses not to kill Superman because of his faith in humanity is slightly restored. And that is evident in the end of the movie and as well as Justice League. Same with Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi. Everyone had a problem with him chucking the lightsaber off the planet on Ahch-To. Yes, it's funny, and yes, it subverts your expectations, but why does that work so well, and why is it amazing? Luke throwing the lightsaber, again, I know I'm talking about DC, but I'm trying to give you guys a thematic meaning here, is that when Luke throws it, he's essentially telling Rey, I'm not the Jedi you think I am. Why would Luke want that lightsaber? Every single time he uses that blue lightsaber, something bad happens. He lost his arm with it. He almost killed his dad. There's so many bad things happening to Luke with that blue lightsaber. He's essentially telling Rey, The Jedi are the problem. Why would I frickin' want this thing? So he chucks it. But what does he do on Crate at the end of the movie? To show his character growth, he uses the blue lightsaber, Anakin Skywalker's lightsaber, Luke's lightsaber, and Rey Skywalker's lightsaber. He doesn't use the green one. He uses the blue one, the one that he threw away. In the beginning of the movie, he tells the audience, I don't want anything to do with this. And at the end of the movie, he tells the audience, I was wrong, I want everything to do with this. Exact same way here. So Batman's arc in Batman v Superman is much like Luke and Tony, really, really well thought out, and a lot of people don't understand it either because they're just dumb or they just don't like to think. But if you really use your common sense, it is a perfect character arc. Superman has his reasons to fight Batman as well. It's not just because his mom is kidnapped. You know, I don't know. I can't even talk. The meanings are just so well divided. I think the CGI is great. The action scenes are great. The version that I saw, the extended version, is R-rated. So technically, Birds of Prey was the first canon R-rated film. But, you know, I don't really count Batman v Superman as an R-rated canon outing because it's the extended version on Blu-ray, not the original version. But the best way to watch Dawn of Justice is the extended cut. I think that the original theatrical movie does not do the movie justice. I think it's kind of bad, actually. When you have these extra scenes to make it a half hour longer, it's not just more content, it actually gives you a reason to root for certain characters. You know, Superman's right in a way. Batman's right in a way. Lois is a great character. Everyone's a great character. Lex Luthor, Jesse Eisenberg, by the way, is a junior. A lot of people are like, why is Lex Luthor not bald? Why is he not old? It's because it's his freaking son. No one knew that. No one still knows that. Jesse Eisenberg is not playing. He's playing a junior, by the way, just to let you know. But again, everything in this movie works. The character arcs, the fight scenes are fantastic. Ben Affleck Batman is by far my favorite Batman actor. The fight scenes that he's in is amazing. I do like Christian Bale, but I do think Ben Affleck is my favorite just because of, you know, he is the coolest Batman. You know, his fight scenes are the best. His character growth is the best. There really isn't too much character growth for many of the Batmans. He's really just Bruce Wayne and that. But the fact that Zack Snyder actually cared, you know, enough to actually give Ben Affleck Batman a reason to not just be Batman. He gave, oh, you know, yeah, he's Batman, but we're gonna take that up a notch. And the fact that no one effing understood it, just like Luke and Tony, really shows that people are just, like I said, they're either dumb or they just don't like to think. But when you do use your common sense, it's a great movie. You know, you don't have to let, you know, maybe, oh, the CGI, you know, whatever. But I do think that this is the definitive best DCEU film. The Batman v Superman extended cut is a perfect movie, and I can't wait to, you know, rewatch it again. It really is fantastic, man. The thematic meaning, everything is just top-notch. Zack Snyder is a great director, and I can't wait to see more of what he does. Again, I'm looking forward to more DCEU films. Looking forward to when I can finally see Wonder Woman 84, The Suicide Squad, apparently Black Adam, Shazam, Gods and Monsters or whatever. I think, you know, Fury of the Gods or whatever. A lot of DCEU movies. I feel like the DCEU kind of lost its way. You know, we don't have... Apparently Batman's back. Apparently Superman's going to get back. We don't know what's going on. The DCEU is kind of in shambles right now. They don't really know what the F's going on. And neither do I. But the movies that I've seen, again, even though Justice League and, you know, all of them are kind of more down on the list, I do love all of these movies, really. It's not like I hate them, you know, just they had to be on the list. So again, tell me in the comments what your list is for your favorite or least favorite to favorite DCEU films. Hope you guys enjoyed my opinion on this. I had a lot of fun making it. Hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay of LEGO DC Supervillains. Again, these are all great movies, and I can't wait for the future. But my favorite would have to be Batman v Superman, the extended version. Thank you guys, and we'll see you in the next video. How do you like that, Superman? Huh?